Well, you know what? Do you, Amber? Just do you.
Is that why you have overalls on? Is that the
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
this was the try.
Yeah.
This is Finn. This is the boy.
Finn? Oh, you
Finn and Poppy.
That's nice.
Oh,
This one's Poppy.
I love both of those
And that one's
names.
Finn. Aren't they cute?
Do they like people?
They love people.
Okay.
They're pygmy, I think.
Yeah. Is this as full grown as they will get?
They're not going to get much bigger.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dessy, I brought you the wrong gift, but I brought you this little ashtray that
so cute. Can I use
so-
it right now?
yes,
This is
that's why I
amazing.
brought
love
it.
this.
So there's a real flowers in there, and it's Ron Bell's, the artist who you know, he's a tattoo artist, and he's the one who had the whole theme for
Yeah.
this project.
So he makes
So
these,
yeah, and I don't know if he made that or if his wife made that. I'm unsure about that, so I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. But I got it recently at a like an art fair, you know,
Yeah.
they were at.
That's awesome.
I love it.
For a while, I was like super into figuring out how to make my toilet seat like this.
Oh,
Because I had to replace the toilet seat, and I was like, oh, I want to do a clear one.
right?
Because you just do a mold, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't do it. I just got a white one.
Right.
So maybe they'll do it.
You have the grand ideas, and
That
then
is a great
it's
idea.
Like, that's gonna take too much of my life energy. Before we get started in our nitty gritty chat, I want to explain to people watching how we're here. Not why we're here. We're going to get into that. We'll talk about why we're here ad nauseum. But how are we? How is it that we are in this barn in Plant City? And so the previous interviews have all been in the living space and or creative space of the artists.
Yes.
Since we're not in your living, creating space, how did we get here? And just want to explain how we know each other and what the connection is. So, Dessy, you were a student at the school where I taught, where Jennie's children were also students. And Jennie, one of your sons was my student for a minute. And then later on, Dessy, you were not ever my student, but were involved in productions and
Yeah, I think I was your student when I was a senior, kind of. Just by
sort
narrating.
of. Yeah,
or
yeah,
something, which
yeah.
was helpful.
Involved in that, in those two shows. That was perfect. And then after school, you were still in school when you did a piece for the Red Tent Collaborative. Did a fashion show, helped me with a fashion show, and then Jennie, we also I attended church for a while where your husband was the pastor, so I knew you through there too. But I think the school Geneva was the how we kind of all got to know each other. And so when we needed a place to do Dessy's interview, then I thought of you and your connection to the two of us. So it wasn't like, hey, random person, can we come do our interview at your place? This interview is meant to feature Dessy as an artist, and is the reason why I chose Dessy, because she fits the theme of the project in that she is both an artist and an addict. Then when it came to finding a place to do the interview, the best place, I thought of you, Jennie, because and your farm, and in this fantastic barn, because you are also an artist, and you are the parent of an addict. So it just seemed like a good fit.
Yeah.
So that's how we came to be here.
Don't be sad.
It's no secret that we are here to talk about addiction and also art and life and how they are related. And Dessy, one of our first conversations on the phone that we had, you mentioned being a concern about being treated as or seen as a zoo animal, and an
That was
animal
other
in the
people's
zoo.
concern.
Like-
I have no problem with people seeing me as a zoo animal. If it means I get to like justify the thing I really want to do, then I have no problem with like exploiting, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
being an exhibition.
I see.
I have no problem with that if it's like, I don't know, me getting to indulge the thing that I'm always thinking about or whatever.
When did you start using?
I started using like recreational things that weren't prescribed to me, period. Or just, I mean, I started drinking around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier. Not super heavily, but that became a bigger problem than stimulants at one point, like 2019, 2020. I was drinking, like rubbing alcohol during quarantine, like because I thought I just needed to take the edge off. Not everywhere was closed. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, and so
Gotcha.
I've been saying I'm not an alcoholic, but like, I don't know if you can really say you're not an alcoholic and then also say you've drunk rubbing alcohol. Like,
Right.
it's kind of, I don't know. So there's that problem too, but that one I did tackle on my own, kind of, before I started using like harder stimulants. So I first started like taking Adderall when I was like 16, maybe the first time I did it was when I was 16, and then it progressed into like I thought, oh man, I really had a problem because I was taking like 120 milligrams a day, or like over a span of like 6 hours or something like that. And actually, when I was in that play, was one of the times when I was like, okay, this is the last. You can't do this anymore. Like you have like, you're not going to be able to function or whatever. And it's funny because like, I only really used 3 days a week probably at most, and it was a lot in those days. But I was stealing it from a family member, so I could only use so much and not get like found out. Anyway, so I had that going for me through 17 maybe, and like when I started dating Danny, I kind of stopped because I had somebody to tell.
Okay. So you were 17 years old and you started dating Danny, and
Yeah, well,
was
we
he the
met-
person you had to tell?
Yeah, like when we became like more official, like which was when I was 17, we were like hang like 16 to 17. I was using it while I was getting to know him, or like hanging out with him. And then when we became more involved, I just felt like I needed to tell, or like he could help me for some reason. Whereas like if I told him, I didn't want to tell like my mom or like my dad or any of my family members, because I didn't want to. I just couldn't. I don't know. It was like, anyway, I couldn't then. I did later, and that didn't really seem to solve the issue though. Like I got Adderall and Vyvanse and like all the ADHD things prescribed to me pretty easily, and there might have been legitimate symptoms, but like now, I don't know, they're with the depression and ADHD symptoms, it's like kind of indicative of bipolar sometimes, and that's my most recent like treatment plans have been to treat me for unspecified bipolar, or then people telling me I need to look more into borderline personality disorder and stuff like that, which I didn't follow up with the people with the treatment plans. So
Gotcha.
I'm trying to get another one. Anyway, So that makes more sense because like it felt way too good to take Adderall the first few times I took it to like have ADHD. Like so it's probably just something to do with the hyper-excitability and the like I don't know, feeling pressured to get it all in, like when I'm talking to people, like that's kind of, or super overstimulated places. Like stimulants help me not be overstimulated or like be able to slow the processing down to like, I don't know. Anyway, I really liked them initially because like I could just read for hours or like do like type long like not even essays, like thoughts, like I loved that, like but yeah, so I stopped using when I was like 17 Adderall. Had been kind of, I didn't take Xanax till I was 19, but that wasn't really like a big thing for me other than it would knock me out, and that's what I needed sometimes because I was up a lot. And it also was nice in that when I answered the phone at work, when I was working at 1961 after I had taken a Xanax, it was like not, I had no dread, like at all.
Yeah.
And that was so weird. It was just like crazy. Anyway, yes. And in college, I did like try weed, and like I've had been offered a lot of weed and I don't say no, but like it's just like I hate it. I really don't like it. Like it's like it makes me like hear other people in the room, like it's like schizo-y too much. So when I was at Flagler, I remember I would drink like 8 espresso shots every day. And so that period of time I wasn't on stimulants.
Right.
Just an antidepressant.
Yes, you were.
But yeah, it is a mind-altering substance for sure.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. That's just kind of the way I only felt it work if I did like had 8 espresso shots.
Yeah.
And then it was great. But like anyway, so I thought like the espresso shots, I was different with the medications and needed a lot more than they would give. I don't know. Even somebody like twice my size, like, and so I would run out of them pretty quickly, and that would make me go without it. But like, I eventually just realized it was not going to be enough ever. Like, I can't rely on doctors to give me as much as I really need because I know better than the doctors do. You know, I know how much I really need, and they don't. But so that's when I started buying street amphetamines, I guess methamphetamine namely, and a bunch of cut probably, but it was like, it wasn't like nearly as great as like when I first took Adderall. That was the weird thing. It was just like, oh, now I can stay awake to have a sucky existence, so I guess that's better. But like, it was almost like it became really enjoyable after I went through the work of getting myself addicted to it, if that makes sense.
Listening to you, the question in my mind, and Jenny, you and I have talked about this before too, is where does that complete lack of self-worth come from? Like, isn't that weird? Like,
It's crazy.
Have you been able to answer the question for yourself?
No, I've only been like confronted with the fact that it's not true and I'm supposed to not think like.
Right, and that like, why do you?
Yeah.
You're confronted with the whys. Like, why do you think like that? Like, you're so weird. Why?
Yeah,
is that,
or like
you know,
that's not what's true. You are worthy because of Christ. So they have women's Bible study, which is cool. It's super fun, and we read like that Kevin DeYoung book, Men and Women in the Church, and the first chapter, I don't know if it was the introduction or the first chapter, I don't know, I can't really remember, was like listing all these points like that we have to get right about women, like that are from the Bible, and one of them was they're equal in worth and dignity to like men, like they're all equal in worth and dignity. But like that was the point that I had the most like the biggest issue with accepting, and I still don't even know if I fully accept. Like it's just like, oh no, I don't have like how like I don't have worth like equal to people like Danny, like or like even other women too though. And that's the way I think of it. Like I'm very realistic about other people's worth, but not my own.
Yeah. Jenny, you, does this resonate with you? Like, is this feeling, like deja vu? And that's not to compare your son with Dessy, but I mean, we are having the conversation, and it's how we are, you know, kind of connected in the current subject matter. So I'm just wondering what's going through your mind while you're.
Well, Connor was on Adderall and Xanax, so there was a lot that I got, and I'll never claim to have been an addict, but the mother of an addict is about as, you know, close to, it gets really close because everything he feels, I kind of internalized, and I was an enabler at a point, and I had a hard time with boundaries. So at the beginning, it was really difficult, but I do resonate with the needing to change something about me as if I'm Connor, to be somebody else and to be different. I feel like he needed the high of the Adderall, and then there was never enough Adderall. And then to come down on the Xanax, and then the next day, and then there wasn't, you know, he wasn't prescribed Xanax, so it was always off the street and bars and you know. So, and he got the Adderall like so easily. Telehealth. Call up.
Instagram, you can get it delivered to your door.
Oh yeah, he had to get off Instagram because that's where all his Snapchat. He had all his people were on Snapchat.
I have no idea what you all are talking about.
Oh, I was talking about the ADHD prescription brands you see on Instagram. I wasn't talking about getting them on Instagram. Although I did try that at one point, but then I think people who are into the drug I was doing are like really scared of like the government. So like they use like Wicker Me. It's like an encrypted messaging. I don't know. So that's the only thing I really use.
Yeah, I think his dealer. This is to prepare for this. I wrote this, and it might be on spot. It might not be. This is what I wanted to tell you. Dessy, I've always felt a connection to you, even though we never spent a lot of time together. I wasn't sure what it was until this morning. Sweet girl, your box has always been too small. You wanted so deeply to be seen and heard for who you were, but those around you needed you to be someone you were not created to be. They needed you to walk the line and not ask questions, and you just wanted to ask why the line was so straight. I just want you to know that I see you. I was put in a suffocating box growing up too. I broke out, and there is such freedom in figuring out that boxes are for people who are scared. You are a fighter. I could feel that even when you were a little girl. And as a fighter, I mean a warrior. Such a weird word, but to me it means that you are going to find your voice no matter what it takes. Today is your day to have that voice, and I'm so proud of you. And so I think it's a matter of figuring out who we are.
Yeah, and not liking your box.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no fucking box.
You'll grow to like the box that's not real.
Yeah.
The imaginary box, and you'll be like terrified to leave it.
Yeah.
But you gotta bust out.
So you said that when you came out of rehab, you weren't any different. It hadn't changed your state or condition.
I have 2 books, a Bible and then George Herbert. And like his poetry was the only thing I could like really still understand, or like the only thing that would keep me from being a monster, even at like the highest point of all of that, I guess, like, or like the only thing that kept me from like drifting all the way away from truth, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he was a pastor, minister or whatever, but he did poetry, and it's really good. Like, anyway, so it is like trying to help you understand the truth. I'm not saying like, oh, that kept me in line, whereas scripture didn't. I didn't want to read scripture, like, for a lot of that, like, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, him and John Donne were like, I just had them on like loop. Like, you know, when you feel like something's going to be really hard, so you might just play like a worship song or like I don't know, something over and over and over again to like give you the strength to go through it.
Something soothing.
Yeah, or like,
I'm not currently listening to worship music. Just to throw this out there, I have divorced Christianity, and maybe we'll get married again someday. But for right now, I am not a bride. I'm a divorcee when it comes to Christianity and the church. However, I still believe in divine power.
from where?
I believe that there is a God, but I'm currently in a place in my life where I don't know who or what that is, and I do not care. Like, I don't mean to say that I don't care as in to be flippant or blasphemous. I mean that in the way that I do not have the desire to figure it out.
Yeah.
My brain, where my head is at in my life right now, I am just trying to live my life and be as comfortable and happy, and I'm 45, so half my life, if I'm lucky, half my life is over. So I only have the next half, maybe less than half, I don't know, to enjoy just being here and living and loving, and this life is a gift, and I have wasted half of it trying to be good, trying to follow all the rules, trying to figure out who I'm supposed to be, rather than just being who I am. Like, I'm tired of trying to figure out who I'm supposed to be, who this book that was written by men who were influenced by the time that they lived.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm not trying to figure any of that out.
Sorry, I'm going to pull up the psalm while you're talking.
Just in this place where I just want to live my life. And I am not trying to worry about any of that shit.
Sometimes you can't afford to worry about any of that shit.
That's where I feel like
I
I am. That's where I feel like I am. I feel like mentally, I am at a place where I cannot afford to waste another minute of the life that is passing me by being concerned about all of the legalism, I just want to be me. I just want to do me. And I just want to love people and be kind to other people and help them be them and do them. And, and so religion is something that I had to put down. Religion is a bag that I have been carrying my entire life, and I had to put it down. And I felt like for the first time in my entire life, that total freedom, you know, everybody always talks about being free. I was, you know, whatever. I didn't feel true freedom until I set the religion bag down and walked away from, and so kind of like, not so much right now, but in the beginning when I first did that, which was around 2017, 18-ish, that was, I was like vehemently averse to anything religious, to anything Jesus, you know, if somebody starts talking about religion or Jesus, or I'm like like the eyes twitching and the, you know, and didn't want to listen to music. And actually, Jenny, you and Ida Mundell are the only two Christians I could stand to be anywhere near during that time. Like,
I was at like, we weren't hanging out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I am a pretty belligerent Christian at social events, though, and that's such a. It's not even because like I want them to know the truth. On some level, yes, but like it's almost just like a fun debate.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I hate doing that deep down, but like I will get into that with people.
Yes,
And
yes.
say things I regret, like that sound like, oh, I don't know. That's what somebody at XX college would have said, or like sound like a
Right.
prepackaged Christian answer, like I don't know, apologetic defense, like
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm better now, so we're fine. I just was.
Well, I completely understand not caring. Like that,
you know.
I didn't care for that entire period. It was like I can't even think about like I'm just worried about how I can wake up the next day and like stay awake to do whatever I needed to do. It got to a point where I wasn't doing school or work, so I don't know. Felt like I was really like I was in a crisis or something. I had a lot to do, or even though I didn't. Like, but yeah, it seemed like a luxury to like be able to, I don't know, have a spiritual like facet of your life grow in any way that wasn't related to desperation to me. Like my whole, I don't know, relationship with the divine or spiritual or God was like entirely built on pleas of like intervention or like just make the like calling out of the pits of despair, like that, like exactly like.
And I think, you know, religion and faith, I think, could be, you know, two different things. But I think in that box is this religion that we have to figure out where we stand in a relationship with Christ if we're going to be in one. But finding, like, popping out of that box and going, okay, if I'm going to be in one, it's going to look like this. And it's going to be, my box is going to be bedazzled. My box is going to be feisty. My box is going to have an opening in case I want to get out and make a new box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's just no confines, I think. I was put in the box of socialite.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be the yacht club girl. I was supposed to marry a doctor, and I was supposed to be wealthy, and I was supposed to play tennis with the right women and go to lunch. And that was not my box. And I was like that. I will not be that person, but it took me time to get there for sure.
It's invalidating. That's
Yes.
an invalidating environment, literally.
Yes.
So-
And it is not who I am. I mean, I was the one who, when I was 12 years old, couldn't figure out why black people weren't at the yacht club. And I asked my mom, and she says because they don't let them here. And at that day, I was like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm done. This is not okay. Like, racial injustice was super important to me back then, but nobody could participate. Nobody could validate that in me. And so I just sort of pushed a lot of things down and tried to still appear that I was being agreeable, but I definitely got a lot of bitterness and hostility built up in me that I could not find validation for the person that I was. And I found it later, and that has been life-changing. And art has been that for me. You know, that's why cookie cutter anything, I'm can't do it, especially when it comes to art. And so I just wonder, you know, if that's sort of a similarity between all three of us, to be honest.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
So the three of us are connected in the obvious ways that we have already discussed, but something that I just thought about this morning, a connection, is Kimberly. So
Crap art.
yes, crap art.
I didn't even know you knew Kimberly.
I used her jewelry in the thing.
Yes. Dessy,
I went to her
forgot
U-Haul.
all about that. That we
Oh
did.
my
We used
gosh.
Kimberly's jewelry. So Kimberly was the featured artist
Yeah.
at the Red Tent
I
Collaborative,
remember
where
that.
Dessy did
Okay.
the fashion show. We
Yeah.
did a fashion walk at that one, and we used Kimberly's jewelry. But didn't you used to go to Crap Art when it was on Main Street?
I used to go there to go to shows.
Yes,
Oh my-
for music
Yeah.
show, for concerts and
Yeah.
stuff. And then Jenny, you and I did the
I met her
Red
through
Tent.
Red Tent.
Yes, so
and now she's my closest friend.
yes,
We talk every day. Can I just get her on? Can I get her on FaceTime?
Yes,
Yeah.
She's gonna die.
I'm getting. Gosh, she looks so
Connor
Look
has
at
happy and
addiction.
healthy.
She's so
You
happy.
look so happy and healthy, like everyone else in Oregon.
Kimberly!
Kimberly, hello.
Listen,
I don't know if you remember me.
do you remember Dessy?
Do you remember Dessy?
Uh-huh. Oh my God. Listen, you have been the topic of conversation.
We're filming for Abstract Art of Recovery, and we just keep talking about you. So Jenny said, "Well, let's call her up."
Oh my gosh, and she's, oh my, like, I just want to, like, punch her in the face for putting me on the phone.
I said she'll only do FaceTime with me.
Never punch you in the face.
I know.
love you way too much.
I know. I know.
That's the golden rule.
I know. But you know what? Forgive me.
This just makes my day.
Uh-huh.
We were just talking about how the three of us are connected in part because of you and Crap Art, and the different ways in which you have inspired us and taught us that we are true artists, and encouraged us to follow our art paths
Or recycle.
or recycle.
I didn't
Yeah.
care about recycling. I just wanted to go to shows.
I know what to say that just makes me want to cry.
She's the most humble person. She has no idea how she has touched people's lives.
Oh, no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
Dessy, you want to tell her?
You are how I met my husband, kind of, in a weird way. Or like how we had a mutual friend. Your space was how we kind of, our friendship with the same person grew to the point where that was the connection we kind of.
When you had that
and
really-
like, he's the reason I'm alive. Danny, really, like,
Yeah.
I would be either on the street or dead.
This is so life-giving.
Yeah. We
And
miss you, Kimberly.
And you are a life giver.
I don't even know what to say. I'm so embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
Because I'm crying and I look like shit. Oh, you guys, I'm so happy. The whole point of why I did that is you're telling me right now. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
You just, she's so honoring to people and cares so much and loves so well.
Yep.
And these three people right here just want you to know that. I mean, I tell you almost every day, but you know.
Well, I get to talk to you almost every day, so that's really cool. That's like, it makes me want to come back. I've been telling
Yeah.
Jenny,
Oh my gosh, come you're going through your senior year of high school, you're turning 18, you're
Yeah.
transitioning into an adult. You got married at what, 19?
Yeah.
So you got married the year after graduation. So I'm just imagining, this is just me imagining from my perspective as a parent, and as a middle-aged parent, as a middle-aged mom, like, I don't know that I would have recognized any of that. Like, I would have probably attributed your behavior to, and even your depression, to being a student at a very rigorous private school, with a really intense academic schedule, and going through senior year, graduation, and then a wedding, becoming a wife, becoming an adult,
I didn't have the adolescence.
and all of that at the same time. Like, so, I'm just looking at your life around those years from the perspective of a middle-aged mother, and thinking I probably would have thought that you were acting out and or your behavior was odd because of the stress of what was going on in your life.
Yeah, or like that was, and when I had a therapist in rehab, when she was talking about BPD or borderline personality, she was also talking about like adult children of alcoholics, which my parents are
Not alcoholics.
at all. But like it's dysfunctional families, and like I think that makes a lot of sense because like I looked mature, like I got married. Oh, only mature girls who know what they're about get married at 19, like, or like because I wasn't pregnant, like like it's kind of like they just thought if I was doing it, it must be like I'm mature. Like I don't know, it was kind of weird thing that they trusted or believed that I had developed in ways I hadn't. Like I still think in ways that are pretty immature when I like let them run, like, and don't check them.
When you're not trying to be an adult.
When I'm not, or like when I'm just like vocalizing like what the crazy things my mind and like crazy selfish, self-centered, like just kind of neurotic, I guess, but like weird things that toddlers might think or like children might think, like whenever I vocalize those thoughts, like it's like, oh yeah, I really haven't matured in these ways, and like you could mess my entire day up because there was a big pile of laundry on the floor like 5 feet away from you, like that could ruin my entire day because I haven't matured in like other areas, whereas like I thought I did, and others are like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like with the alcoholics, it's like that's like a dysfunctional family because they're not parenting you, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like, I don't know, helping you develop. You have to do it on your own, which when you do that, it's kind of just like a little kid who can like manage their life or like work a job, which isn't that hard. Like it's like I mean it is really hard too at points, but yeah, I just kind of felt like a little kid with like bigger guns or something.
You're at this point in your life where you are unable to shower daily and brush your teeth on the regular and take care of your hygiene. You are also at the same time a person who is able to teach themselves how to crack a safe.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like
It's
like a kid. It's like
It's what's important.
like you know what I'm saying? Like this is blowing my mind. Like how
It makes sense, though.
and I'm not
How does it
saying
make sense to
I'm not
you?
saying you no, and I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I am reveling in the awareness that our minds are such fucking liars.
Yeah, right?
Like, if you are capable of teaching yourself and figuring out how to crack a safe, then you are capable of taking a shower. But the mental,
Yeah.
the reward from the
nearly
shower.
pursuit.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
like, why does that matter? This is just what I've lived through and through vicariously. This does not matter. The pursuit of this is everything.
Okay.
I
The
have to get
fixation
this,
on that and the obsession.
and everything
about
else
that.
falls away.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it is,
that makes sense.
It
Like
is
when
an obsession.
When you're hungry, you're not really thinking about what, like you're thinking, there's this constant thing on the back burner of your mind, like, oh, where am I going to get lunch? How am I going to get food? I need
Right,
to eat
right.
something right now. It's like that. Like you think of everything in terms, everything circumstantially in terms of getting the thing you need or like want so badly.
Right.
The rewarding thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah, kind of like in adolescence and like sex a little bit. Like, I don't know. It's not just like, oh, immature, crude joking. It's like just thinking of everything in terms with like that thing that's so good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
If I could interject there, I think watching somebody as an addict physically needing and emotionally needing drugs it's a really hard thing to watch. It is because you know how helpless they really are, and I kind of felt that because I've also worked with women who are in addiction, but to know how controlled somebody is by a substance will break your heart for them. Because I decided when I saw my son come out of rehab that to be in recovery is the freaking bravest thing a human being can do.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard. Like watching my son have psychosis when he was withdrawing, watching him have a seizure, finding him overdosed on the floor. You know, like there's like a lot of things I've seen and heard and experienced. To know that that was so good for him in his mind, to walk away from that is going to be so hard because I've never been controlled by something. And so it is a really hard thing to watch. And the lies and all the things, like you see how it can happen. And you see how everything can fall away. People leave their children in hotel rooms to go get drugs. And it makes, somehow I've been given the ability in a sort of a way to not even feel like an anger towards that because it's such a desperate place.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And it breaks your heart to watch it, but not in a pathetic kind of a pity way, but it's like, that is real. Addiction is a real, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But to see someone in recovery, and I watch it every day, it's really hard to watch because you know it's fragile. You are holding the most fragile thing in the whole world, is your sobriety. And you don't know if tomorrow you could do it. Like you see that in the eyes of an addict. Can I do tomorrow without using?
It's like fear.
Yeah. And AA says one day at a time, and it's like, that sounds so cliche. Like I was so grossed out by all of that. And then I went to AA, and Connors goes every day almost to AA. And it seemed so stupid until I was in a room with people who were saying, no, it is one day at a time.
It's 1 second at a time.
Yeah.
Damn it. One breath at a time.
So often
Yeah.
we don't celebrate the victories.
Yeah.
We look at addiction like perfection or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, there is this sense of fear in us that we project, that this is a downward spiral. Where's this going to lead? We are playing out a year from now of one use and what that's going to lead to, as opposed to celebrating the times that you are sober.
Yeah.
And really, I think, and I don't know if you've had this, but it's really about the people around an addict listening and not hearing what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They just want to hear, we want to just hear that you're well, you're good, you're sober. But we have to listen to what's underneath that.
Yeah. For innumerable evils have compassed me about, mine iniquities have taken hold upon me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of my head. Therefore my heart faileth me. Because I can't even look at you. Like, I don't know. That is just like, the fact that that could be a prayer is like, I don't know. Yeah, it is harder to like actually like accept love, like,
Yeah.
than to just keep degrading yourself. Like, you think that would put you through more pain or whatever, but the pain of like accepting forgiveness or like the like incredible thing that they put themselves through that they didn't deserve at all, that I made them, like, it's like, that is way harder than like, I don't know, yeah, throwing my life away and like having this like suffering in a physical sense, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Philosophers have measured mountains, fathomed the depths of seas, states, and kings, walked with a staff to heaven, and traced fountains. But there are two vast spacious things, the which to measure it doth more behoove. Yet few there are that sound them, sin and love. Who would know sin, let him repair unto Mount Olivet. There shall he see a man so wrung with pains that all his hair, his skin, his garments bloody be. Sin is that press and vice which forceth pain to hunt his cruel food through every vein. Who knows not love, let him essay, and taste the juice which what on the cross a pike did set again a broach, and then let him say, if ever he did taste the like, love is that liquor sweet and most divine, which my God feels as blood, but I as wine. Yeah, it is that description of sin.
Yeah.
That press and vice which forceth pain to hunt its cruel food through every vein. Like that, like, this is like way before any like sort of modern, like, that's just like crazy how accurate and like scary that was. Like, I don't know. It's called Love, number 3. Love bade me welcome, yet my soul drew back, guilty of dust and sin. But quick-eyed love, observing me grow slack from my first entrance in, drew nearer to me, sweetly questioning if I lacked anything. A guest, I answered, worthy to be here. Love said, you shall be he. I the unkind, ungrateful, ah, my dear, I cannot look on thee. Love took my hand and smiling did reply, who made the eyes but I? Truth, Lord, but I have marred them. Let my shame go where it doth deserve. And know you not, says Love, who bore the blame? My dear, then I will serve. You must sit down, says Love, and taste my meat. So I did sit and eat. Like, that's everything I wanted to do. Like, I can't look on you. I destroyed the good things you gave to me. Let me serve you to make up for it. Can I work my way, like, back to it, like, make up for it somehow? No, just come and eat.
Yeah.
Come be in communion with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, taste my blood, this wine, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's like the good thing. Like, it's better.
Yeah, it is.
Dessy, your art of recovery, as we're calling it, is music. You do other things as well, and none of them do you consider yourself an artist. But I beg to differ, and this is my show, so you have created some electronic music and are willing to let me use it for a fashion walk for the live event that we're going to have. So we're going to listen to a couple tracks that maybe we're going to use for the fashion walk.
But it's not as somber, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm getting that volley feel.
Yeah.
That inspiration.
Sounds infinitely better to me when I listen to it with headphones or on a decent speaker. Like I was like, I honestly think this one would be best if it was less noisy, but you can't hear it on here good enough.
I like this one because it has that.
It's a banger.
It has that beat that will be easy to step to, like, you know, to hit a mark.
Yeah.
It has that beat that will allow the models to hit a mark. You know, at a certain point. Are these so? And these are the songs that are finished.
There are other ones that are very like, I just haven't finished them, but I can finish them by February if you want me to.
Yeah.
But like, that's a lot of risk. And I would much rather play other people's music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, pick the songs that are so... I was thinking about that helicopter song.
Yes.
And I literally, like, quote, these drugs, they don't pay like they used to pay. They play on me in such serious ways, like, all the time to myself. And that's in that song. It's funny.
Yeah.
Or, like, thinking about the chains. I don't know, like, self-made chains are just the same as, like, imposed chains, kind of.
Yeah.